on his private plane?
Yes.
You've been to stay on his private island?
Yes.
You've stayed at his home in Palm Beach?
Sarah Ferguson is reportedly devastated and increasingly confined to her home, feeling the sting of fading friendships and dried-up invitations. With Christmas looming, she may be facing her last one at Royal Lodge. In contrast, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is said to be spending his days as a couch potato, absorbed in television and deliberately disengaging from the world. Sarah's isolation, however, is not a choice. She is being shut out. Recent WhatsApp messages connected to Andrew's Epstein circle have reopened one of the most toxic chapters of their shared past, and those close to Sarah say it has pushed her to the brink. Throughout her life, Sarah has believed she could weather scandal through proximity and perseverance. She relied on charm, reinvention, and a delicate balancing act, remaining close to the royal family while never fully becoming part of it.
Prince Andrew denied he ever saw his former friend with underage girls in a pointed and detailed interview with the BBC.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yeah.
Sarah distanced herself when things turned messy, but she never fully walked away. For a long time, that strategy seemed to work. Even after her divorce from Andrew in 1996, she remained unusually intertwined with royal life, continuing to live at Royal Lodge, appearing with Andrew at family events, and raising their daughters in full public view. She maintained the sense that she was still part of the royal fabric. That closeness brought perks, but it also carried consequences. When Andrew's connection to Jeffrey Epstein became public, Sarah couldn't escape scrutiny entirely. She sought to draw a clear line, insisting she barely knew Epstein, had no meaningful relationship with him, and didn't understand his true character. At the time that narrative began to unravel in 2011, when the Mail on Sunday published leaked emails showing direct correspondence between Sarah and Epstein. In those messages, she thanked him and discussed financial support, a tone intimate and familiar, not distant.
Always a pleasure to chat to you.
As I said, you've been pretty strong in what you've said in the past, that you think it's a very serious possibility that as more and more revelations come out about Prince.
While the emails didn't implicate Sarah in any criminal activity, they contradicted the carefully curated public image she had worked to maintain. At the time, the fallout was serious, but contained. She faced embarrassment, criticism, and questions, yet was not socially exiled. She still attended events and remained part of certain circles. The door was bruised, but not slammed shut. Today, the environment is far less forgiving. Newly released WhatsApp messages linked to Andrew's wider Epstein network have dragged the story back into the spotlight, though in truth it never fully left. These messages reportedly reference the recruitment of young women and appear to support long-standing claims made by Virginia Giuffre against Andrew, including allegations of affairs with multiple women, some reportedly brought from Russia. To be clear, Sarah is not mentioned in these messages and is not accused of sending them, yet her proximity to Andrew means she feels the repercussions nonetheless. Each revelation intensifies scrutiny. Old emails are circulated again, photographs resurface, and past associations are examined with renewed hostility. Sarah, who long believed she could remain adjacent to Andrew's controversies without being engulfed, is now discovering that the public no longer makes that distinction.
After the financier pleaded guilty to soliciting minors for prostitution.
Now, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted.
Given everything we now know about her past involvement, royal expert Emily Andrews recently told GB News that Sarah Ferguson is devastated by the ongoing fallout from the Epstein email scandal and its repeated resurfacing. Andrews described Sarah as being on the brink, gripped by panic, a panic fueled by a growing sense that there is nowhere left to land. Those who once tolerated her presence are now keeping their distance, and friends who previously defended her have quietly drifted away. The unspoken message is clear: she is increasingly seen as a liability, reportedly living as a complete recluse. Sarah barely leaves the house, not out of a desire for privacy, but because she feels unwelcome wherever she might go, anxious about being judged if she steps outside. That sense of isolation is magnified during the holiday season. Christmas has always carried emotional weight for Sarah Ferguson, a time when inclusion and exclusion are painfully visible. This year, that sting is sharper than ever. It is likely to be her final Christmas at Royal Lodge, the home that has anchored her for decades. It is where she raised her daughters and where she maintained a sense of continuity long after her marriage ended.
Prince Andrew is seeking new separate accommodation for both himself and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, in exchange for Royal Lodge, according to reports. The Sun also reports that Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson have agreed to move out if Andrew can move to Frogmore Cottage and Sarah can move to Adelaide.
Royal Lodge has long symbolized stability, belonging, and a tangible link to royal life. The prospect of leaving it behind reportedly weighs heavily on Sarah Ferguson. The house is more than bricks and mortar. It is the last real connection to a life she has been gradually losing. Facing Christmas there, knowing it may be her final one, underscores just how far she has fallen. The contrast with Andrew could not be starker. According to recent reports, he has largely withdrawn by choice, spending his days watching television and avoiding engagement. A complete couch potato. Sarah does not have that luxury. She has no royal income, no institutional protection, and her past commercial ventures have slowed or dried up. Housing deadlines loom, and financial pressure is now immediate, and personal critics argue that this moment is not merely about guilt by association. For years, Sarah defended Andrew publicly, staying close, downplaying her involvement, and insisting she could manage proximity without consequence. She chose familiarity over clean breaks, and that strategy has now collapsed. According to sources, Sarah is seriously considering a tell-all memoir, not a soft reflection, but a book detailing her marriage, her divorce, and how she believes the royal family treated her afterward. Comparisons are already being drawn online to Prince Harry's revelations.
I can have someone a patron for charities that are helping children, and this patron is openly friends with a known paedophile, and she knew he was a paedophile by that point. Does he want to vomit?
No, I mean, there are certain things you can recover.
If Sarah feels she has already been excluded, judged, and written off, telling her story may seem like the only leverage left, but it is a risky move. A memoir would almost certainly sever whatever goodwill remains, place her daughters in an impossible position, reopen long-healed wounds, and provoke a harsh question: is this finally the truth, or another attempt to regain control of a narrative slipping beyond her grasp? What is clear is that Sarah Ferguson is no longer skirting the edges of scandal. She is facing its full consequences. She is isolated, under pressure, and as Christmas approaches, confronting the likely loss of Royal Lodge and the resurfacing of the Epstein story. Yet again, the sense that her time is running out feels overwhelming. So the question remains, is Sarah Ferguson paying the price for Andrew's downfall, or for years spent refusing to fully step away from it? And if she does publish a memoir, would it be a moment of honesty or an act of desperation? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one.